Kelvin bullied everyone in his school, but the day someone finally stood up to him, his life changed forever. In every school, there is always one student everyone fears, and in Bright Future Secondary School, that student was Kelvin. Kelvin was known across the school. Tall, furry-faced, he ruled the corridors like a king. When Kelvin walked down the hallway, students moved aside. Some pretended to be busy, others simply looked down to avoid eye contact. Because everyone knew, if Kelvin noticed you, there was a chance trouble would follow. Sometimes he took mock their clothes. Sometimes he pushed them around just to make his friends laugh. And Kelvin loved the attention. The fear people showed him made him feel powerful. But among all the students in school, one boy suffered the most. His name was Daniel. Daniel was the opposite of Kelvin. He was quiet, gentle. He preferred books to arguments. And almost every day, Kelvin came to disturb him. One afternoon, Daniel had brought homemade rice on stews from home. Daniel, that food smells nice. He simply watched as Kelvin walked away with his food. Moments like that happened again and again, but Daniel never fought back. One afternoon after school, something happened. Kelvin was pushing Daniel near the classroom door when a teacher saw them.
What's going on here?
Kelvin shrugged. Daniel stayed quiet, just like he always did.
This will be important later.
Kelvin, one day you understand how it feels to be treated this way. But those words would soon come back to haunt him.
Class, a new student will be joining us.
Ah, here he is now. His name was Marcus. Marcus was even taller than Kelvin. His shoulders were broad, and he had a calm, serious expression.
I don't like competition. New boy, welcome to the school.
The classroom went silent. Everyone waited for Marcus' reaction. Marcus slowly stared us directly in the eyes. Try it. Kelvin's friends expected him to push Marcus like everyone else, so Kelvin did. But Marcus didn't move. Instead, Marcus pushed Kelvin back, hard. Kelvin lost his balance and fell to the ground. Gasps filled the classroom. No one had ever seen Kelvin embarrassed like that before, not even once. For the first time, the bully looked powerless. After that day, things began to change. Students were no longer afraid of Kelvin. Some whispered about him. Some laughed when he walked by. Marcus didn't bully Kelvin the way Kelvin bullied others, but Marcus made it clear that Kelvin could no longer control. Kelvin's power disappeared. He started sitting alone. His friends slowly stopped following him. The boy who once ruled the now walked quietly through them. One afternoon, Kelvin sat alone under a tree in the schoolyard. He watched other students laughing together, but no one came near him. For the first time in his life, Kelvin understood loneliness. Then someone approached. It was Daniel, the same boy Kelvin had bullied for years. Kelvin looked down at the ground. He remembered every time he had taken Daniel's food, every time he had pushed someone, every time he had laughed while someone else suffered. Every time I took Daniel's food,
Every time I push someone.
every time I laughed at suffering. And for the first time, Kelvin felt ashamed. I'm sorry. You can still change. And Kelvin decided to do exactly that. From that day forward, he stopped bullying others. When he saw smaller students being pushed around, he stepped in to help them. At first, people didn't trust him. But over time, they saw the change was real. Began earning respect. Months later, something interesting happened. A small student was being bullied near the school gate. Before the situation got worse, Kelvin stepped forward.
Leave him alone.
The small student looked up at Kelvin with gratitude. And for the first time in a long time, people smiled at him. Because Kelvin had finally learned something important.
Not making people afraid.
Real strength is about protecting others. Sometimes people think bullying makes them powerful.
Why you want this?
But life has a way of teaching its own lessons. And sometimes, the bully becomes the one who finally understands the pain.